Now we have Cees from Edge. Real estate is not equal to real estate. This developer brings you the edge.
Thank you very much, Marco. Thank you, Justice, for being here. It's a pleasure already for the third time to be here. Edge, who are we? We are a developer who is working mostly in smart buildings, the smart buildings industry. You just saw Notel. Notel is one of the players in our buildings in the future. So we, let's say, make an envelope for the future of work. We believe there are two things which are extremely important for the challenge that we have in the world, but also the challenge that we have in the future of workplace. That's climate and that's talent. We believe that we have to do something about what is going on with our climate, and we believe also that we can do that with our buildings, because 40% of the carbon emission, which is in the air, comes out of the urban developments on our planet. Secondly, in the larger cities, we all have problems to find the right talent. So we like to make that workplace where the right talent can be, let's say, foreseen in the best places to work. So what we believe, the world needs better buildings. This is one of the buildings we did, and where also our name came from. We were an, let's say, old-fashioned, traditional real estate developer, changed last year, and changed it in Edge. Why? We built the building, The Edge, which was not only the most sustainable building in the world, but it became also the most interconnected and Internet of Things building in the world, the smartest. If you look to the Bloomberg, the CNN, the BBCs, who came all to this building and said, guys, this is the future of work, this is the future of buildings. Four things are important for us, which is well-being. It's a big thing to make a healthy workplace. You see a lot of people working in cubicles, no daylight, bad air, and then really, let's say, your concentration is going down, you're not productive anymore. So we fully focus on the well-being of buildings. Sustainability, make buildings energy neutral, make buildings even energy positive. Let buildings generate energy instead of using energy. And last but not least, make also just nice buildings. We work with the best ones in the world, from Koolhaas to Bjarke Ingels to all kind of, let's say, real designers, because design is a part of what we do. Last but not least, that's why we're also here, technology. Everything what we do, from well-being to sustainability of the buildings, is covered by technology. As we were the first ones to make a real Internet of Things building, we believe technology should help us to make buildings, let's say, healthier, but also more sustainable. Who are we? We're not a really big company. We focus on only big and good quality buildings for corporate tenants, but also for startups, scale-ups, flexible contracts, and co-working companies. We have done about 1.2 million square meters so far. We have a pipeline between 2.5 and 3 billion, and we are in Germany, Berlin, Hamburg, we are in Amsterdam and Rotterdam in the Netherlands. We are starting in London since this year, and we are spreading out to New York, Boston, and Washington in the US. This is our pilot building in Amsterdam. It's called Edge Olympic. It's a redevelopment, so it was a building of 40 years old. It was empty. We refurbished it, we redecorated it. We used all the materials that we had from the former building to put in this building, and about 50% of this building is even circular, is reused, and that's even economically viable. What we do, we don't make a building which takes first 2 years to design, then 2 years to build, and then before we start, you're 5 years ahead. We make a blueprint of the best building that we think we can make in a city. That blueprint we give to our partners, and the partners are working with that blueprint to make, in a much faster and more efficient way, the best building in town. So we go from traditional to IoT enabled. That's completely different, with platforms, with technology to make those buildings as healthy as possible and as sustainable as possible. We make our own products even, together with a lot of partners, from Signify to Schneider Electric to Siemens, but also startups from universities, from Delft, from Eindhoven, and so on and so on. But more than that, we make our own data platforms. Together with among Microsoft, we are building a data platform for all our buildings, which can be installed in every building in the world. So we're also creating a new company in that. And we also deliver the hardware for the buildings, which can be mobile, but also can be fixed in the building. And in that way, you can operate your building much more efficient. Just a few partners that we are working with, and they are connected to all our building systems. From Mapic, which is a startup from Delft, and Salto, who arrange the doors open and closing door with your iPhone. up to Sony, Honeywell, and all the others. We have to connect all the different suppliers to one system. We manage those solutions ourselves, so we operate the buildings by ourselves or by our partners, which are most co-working companies like Epicenter from Stockholm or some others that we're currently dealing with. A few examples. This is the East Side in Berlin. Last week we signed a contract with Amazon for this building. Will be fully IoT enabled, but also here the building is energy neutral. So that means that we just make as much energy with the building as much as we use in the building. We're coming to London, close to the Shard. We just purchased a building, and we are going to redevelop and build also a new build over there on the station next to the Shard. We do crazy things. Valley is a big project we're doing in Amsterdam, which is, let's say, greener than green, done with the architects of the High Line in New York. It's residential, it's mixed use, it's, a museum is even in it, but also a lot of offices. We are not only building in concrete and steel, we're also building in wood. For Vattenfall in Berlin, we're going to do the largest wooden hybrid building that's it's coming in Germany or even, I think, in Western Europe. So it's also a material side. We like to be very sustainable. Here you see already some images of what we are going to do in London. We're going also to the US. The US sustainability is not a big thing, but as long as you make it economically viable, it's interesting. So this building, for instance, we guarantee energy reduction of 50% for about 18 years, because we can easily control everything by technology. Last but not least, we're making platforms, and with the platforms we're making dashboards. With those dashboards we can control everything in the building on real time. So every second you can have your reports, but every second you also can change that building in the way that you want to have it. Especially if you look, for instance, to CO2 in buildings, which really influence your brain, it's extremely important to try to measure everything in the building. So we create our own sensoring systems, we create our own management system, our own operating systems to do so, and that's part of the product that we make. We can even make live dashboards that we see how people move in buildings, and with that information you can redesign a building or change a building during the, let's say, even the day or during the week that you're working in that building. Apart from that, we also can see at the end of the day which parts of the building are used. If they are not used, you don't have to clean them. It saves a lot of money, but also can see the occupancy of buildings, which, for instance, related for a company as Deloitte that they could use 30% less of the building and had a much better square meter price per person. We even can try, or we try to make, to show if people can be productive in their buildings. So we have all kind of criteria where you can see if people are yes or no. Let's say the environment where they can work in can be productive. That's due to temperature control, that's due to humidity control, even VOCs we check. And in that way, people can, let's say, on their workplace, which of course are a lot of different workplaces in one building, be productive, yes or no. Last but not least, we believe that due to all those systems, we can reduce the energy bill of every company in that building and every building in the world. And that saves millions and millions of euros and dollars, but also saves our planet. Last but not least, the world needs better buildings. We are starting in London, we are starting in Berlin, we are starting in Hamburg. You guys are from Germany, but for sure also from the UK. We are here in our stand. We look for tenants, we look for partners, and we look for investors. And you're very welcome to have a cup of coffee with us. Thanks very much.